It's one of the shortest words in the English language. Just 2 letters. You've probably said it today without giving it a second thought. Can you grab the milk? Okay. Meeting starts at 9. Okay. Everything alright? Okay. For something so ordinary, it has an oddly impressive resume. It's understood in almost every corner of the world. Pilots use it, surgeons use it, astronauts use it. Text messages are packed with it. And if you landed somewhere you didn't speak the language, there's a decent chance okay would still get your point across. Which raises a strange question. Why these 2 letters? Why not AC for all correct, or just yes? The answer begins with what might be one of history's dumbest jokes, and somehow it never stopped being funny. Language has a habit of cleaning itself up over time. Words that sound awkward disappear, spellings become standardized, grammar slowly settles into something recognizable. But every now and then, something survives that absolutely shouldn't. Okay is one of those accidents. Today, it feels timeless, almost ancient, like it's always existed, but it hasn't. In fact, we know almost exactly when it was born. March 23rd, 1839. Not in a government office, not in a dictionary, not even in a famous speech. It first appeared buried in a Boston newspaper, almost as an afterthought. The strange part is that it wasn't even meant to become a real word. It was a joke. To understand the joke, we have to visit a very specific moment in American history. The late 1830s had something surprisingly familiar going on. People were obsessed with abbreviations. Sound familiar? Today, we have LOL, BRB, IMO, and enough acronyms to make a sentence look like alphabet soup. Back then, people were doing almost the same thing. Except, they added another layer. Instead of abbreviating normal words, they intentionally misspelled them first. Apparently, educated young adults in Boston thought that this was hilarious. All right became all right. No go became no go. Then, they'd shorten those misspellings into initials. It was the 19th century equivalent of inside internet jokes. Most of them disappeared almost immediately, thankfully, because explaining them now feels like trying to explain a meme from 10 years ago. One of those joke spellings was all correct, which of course meant all correct. Someone shortened all correct to okay. And on March 23rd, 1839, editor Charles Gordon Green slipped it into an article in the Boston Morning Post. That should have been the end of the story. One joke, one newspaper, gone forever. Instead, something unexpected happened. Other newspapers copied it. Not because it was especially useful, because it was funny. The abbreviation began hopping from paper to paper until readers started recognizing it without needing an explanation. And then politics got involved, which turned a newspaper joke into a national phenomenon. The next year, America was in the middle of a presidential election. One candidate was President Martin Van Buren. Van Buren happened to come from a town called Kinderhook. His nickname, Old Kinderhook. Those initials? Okay. His supporters loved this coincidence. They formed OK clubs. Buttons, banners, slogans. Everywhere people looked, they saw those 2 letters. Imagine a political campaign accidentally promoting a joke from the newspaper instead of inventing its own slogan. That's essentially what happened. Now here's the funny part. For years, many people believed Old Kinderhook was where OK originally came from. It sounded convincing. Except, it isn't true. The newspaper joke came first. The campaign simply made it famous. It's a little like discovering a song on the radio and assuming the radio station wrote it. They didn't create it, they just amplified it. And that amplification mattered, because elections reached millions of people. By the time the campaign ended, people across the country had seen OK over and over again. The candidate lost, the word won. Here's a twist that surprised me the most. Almost every abbreviation from that era vanished. Remember KG for no go? Neither does anybody else. All right? Gone. There were dozens of these little linguistic jokes floating around in newspapers. Nearly all of them died within a few years. Only one escaped. Why? Because OK turned out to be absurdly useful. It can answer a question. Okay. It can give permission. Okay. It can reassure someone. I'm okay. It can end an argument. Okay. It can reluctantly agree. Okay. It can signal disappointment. The movie was okay. And depending on how you say it, the same two letters can mean excitement, annoyance, uncertainty, sarcasm, confidence, or complete indifference. That's a lot of work for two letters. Linguists sometimes point out that very few words are this flexible. It's less like a word and more like a Swiss Army knife for conversations. Then something stranger happened. It escaped English. Most English words stay, well, English. Okay didn't. It crossed borders. Today you'll hear versions of it in countries where English isn't even the primary language. Open a phone, buy something in another country, listen to airport announcements, watch international sports. Odds are you'll hear some version of okay. For a word born as a joke in a Boston newspaper, that's quite the career change. Some linguists have even described it as one of the most recognized or widely used words on Earth, which is remarkable when you think about it. Entire empires have risen and fallen, languages have disappeared, thousands of words have come and gone, yet these two little letters have quietly traveled around the globe. There's another lesson hiding inside the story. We often imagine language being carefully designated, like someone sat in a room and decided what words people should use. Reality is much messier. Language behaves more like evolution. Ideas compete, most disappear. A few survive because they're useful, not because they're planned. Nobody intended for okay to become one of humanity's favorite words. Nobody predicted school children, airline pilots, doctors, grandparents, astronauts, and billions of smartphone users would all end up saying the same thing. A throwaway joke simply happened to solve a communication problem really well. So it stayed. And once enough people adopted it, there was no putting it back. The next time someone asks if you're ready, or if dinner sounds good, or whether everything's alright, listen carefully before you answer. Those two tiny letters have traveled nearly 2 centuries. They survived changing slang, political campaigns, world wars, radio, television, the internet, and smartphones. Not because they were elegant, not because they were official, but because one editor made a joke that was just useful enough for the rest of the world to keep repeating. Sometimes history isn't hidden inside castles or ancient ruins. Sometimes it's hiding inside the smallest words we say without thinking. Okay? Stay curious, friends.